Hey guys, Fatigue here, and today I'm bringing another Starcraft 2 Shoutcast. And this Shoutcast is a best of 5 series from the IEM European Championships, featuring always a favorite, DuckloadRa, more so known as Whitera, and of course, a player who I most recently casted a series of, but he's back again because he put on such a good show. Sjow spawning as the blue Terran in the top-ish, right-ish corner of the map. Like how I used that there. See what I did there? Put on a good show. Ha 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 ha. And spawning in the right-ish, top-ish, right-ish portion of the map, we have Whitera, DuckloadRa. I'm just going to call him Whitera. Or Duckload. Whatever just comes out of my mouth when I think of his name. So I don't freaking mix things up, you know. That would not be a good thing. And of course, the map we are playing on is Metalopolis. And these guys are spawning as neighbors right now. Looking to be very interesting. Very interesting. Whitera is always a fun person to watch. And Sjow just put on a great show. There I go again with that. Again, for us last series, I just couldn't pass this series up when I saw best of 5 between Whitera and Sjow. I was like, ooh. Yeah, I was excited. So we got a supply depot and a pylon going down in pretty much mirrored areas. Yeah, pretty much the exact area, which is kind of funny, kind of interesting. We have the barracks going down, opting not to wall in. Sjow is opting not to wall in for this match. And we have the gateway going down at pretty much exactly the same time. Pretty much mirror build so far. Again, I know they haven't done much, but I mean, for the production facilities for the race, obviously they're not the same race, so they can't be mirror builds, but for the race-specific production buildings, they are pretty much doing the same thing, as we have that refinery going down and the assimilator going down at pretty much the same time. Looking to be going slightly gas, the gas going down before the barracks is complete, so he's not just going to be juicing out minerals to get some mineral troops out there. They both want gas to get some of those gas troops out. And that is hopefully what we will see. We see the pro production being chrono boosted out of the Nexus right there, as we see both gateways and the barracks coming very close to completion, as we should see a Marine coming out there very much immediately. Could not even finish my sentence, had to stop myself short, as we see the command center being morphed into a planetary fortress. I don't know why the units lost tab started up on there. I must have accidentally hit L when I hit play. Whatevs. We are now looking at the production tab as we see the cybernetics core going down before a Zelda or Stalker. An interesting play by Whitera right there. And we see the Marine is going to run into the stalking probe of Whitera as he will chase it away. Will he be able to get it down, or will the probe run away? We will check back in later as we see a factory going down here for Sjow. And the probe is turning around, but because he's turning around, he might meet his imminent doom as that shield is going down. Oh, will he lose the probe? Oh, just barely going to get him away, it looks like. Very nice, Whitera. Very nice. As we see the Zealot is coming out here, rallying the Zealot out towards the Terran base, looking to gain some more scouting information, it looks like. See what's up over there. We have the Warp Gate research being chrono boosted out of the cybernetics core right there, and rallied at the front of the Terran base right now. We have a little bit of a Marine army. We do see the second barracks, in fact, going down in this factory. Has almost reached completion, as we see a tech lab going down on the first barracks. Looks like we are going to see some Marauder play. Lots of upgrades as we see this Marine returning home. The Zealot, no, not going to be going over to the Marine base. Doesn't think it'll be a good idea. Not really worth it to lose a Zealot. Not really worth it at all. As we see the robotics facility, in fact, going down before a second gateway for Whitera. Pretty interesting play from Whitera, as he does have a Stalker and a Zealot rallied at the front of his base right there. As we see behind the mineral line right there, we do have a supply depot. We do have an SCV, 3 Marines and a Marauder, taking a fast move and a Hellion to the base of Whitera right now. Very interesting, very fast play. He's got that SCV there for the healing, you know, for just the backup, and that probe did not even stand a chance. Just got blown up. Zelnaga Watchtower, so Whitera knows what's coming. He has a Stalker positioned on the high ground to pick off the units that are coming. Will Sjow choose to attack? Will choose to move forward as he opts the SCV to build a bunker at the bottom of the high ground right there. The Hellion moves up and darts immediately towards the mineral line. Will he be able to do some probe damage? Moves to the back of the base. Moves the Stalker to attack him, and the sentry traps the ranged forces on the ramp. Will the ranged forces be able to get away from the Zealots? And the Zealots are just hacking away at them. Will the sentry be able to go down? They won't even get the sentry down. Sjow doesn't manage to kill Zealot as they are pursuing the Marines away. But will the Marines are kiting the Zealot? Will they be able to kite it enough for the Hellion to be able to get him down? The Marines are continuing to run away as they turn around to shoot. Both Marines will, in fact, get sliced open from the Zealot at the cost of the Zealot. But 2 Marines down, not bad at all, as this bunker will, in fact, it looks like either be salvaged or destroyed. So that rush did not quite work out the way Sjow would have wanted it to. As we look at the units lost tab, Sjow, in fact, lost more than Whitera did with that push. So not a good idea of a push. We do have some stagnant units back here trying to do some damage, but no, as we do have an Immortal on the field, and that will pose some immediate damage to Sjow, as he is rallying all of his troops back to his base, because he will not be able to compete with the little squadron that Whitera has going on right now. As we look back at the production tab right now, we do have a Warp Prism coming out here for Whitera. Very interesting as he brings the Stalker over here for some scouting information, but the concussive shells will slow it down, as the Stalker will just, in fact, barely get away, as we have 2 Stalkers rallying in the middle of the road there. We have Stimpack being researched now for the troops of Sjow, as we have the 3rd barracks going down with another tech lab, second tech lab, as we do have this Warp Prism coming up and over, and we will see a Sentry and Immortal drop right on the supply line along with some Zealots dropping right into the base. So we'll be able to warp in some units right there, but the Zealot will not make it, as we have a starport nearing completion right now. The Immortals just shelling away. The SCVs have got to get out of there. They've got to get out of there, but they are blocked by Zealots coming in through the front door. We have a 2-pronged attack right now by Whitera that is doing massive economic damage. Looking at the units lost at right now, 18 units lost for Sjow. Wow, as the drop is finally fought off by Sjow, he can resume his economy to work, as Whitera is now vastly ahead in the economy. The Warp Prism, great move, great drop, but again, they are about even. Looking at the units tab right now, 25 SCVs to 31 probes. So, in fact, that Warp Prism drop did do some economic damage to Sjow, as we see the natural expansion coming down here for Whitera, seizing the opportunity of him being economically ahead to make an expansion, well, for him to get even more economically ahead. As we have a Medivac coming out of the starport right here. So it looks like Sjow might be planning to do a little bit of a drop on his own right now. Looking back at the production tab, we do have a robotics bay coming out. Very interesting, as we do have combat shields being researched by the Terran player. Do have some more Immortals in construction, as this robotics bay is in fact being completed. How much longer on this Nexus right now? The Nexus is about halfway done. What do we got going on back here? We have the Warp Prism just chilling out back here. It's got a little bit of life left, and he is planting himself right in the back of that natural right there, as his SCV coming out to, in fact, build a natural right here. We'll see this Warp Prism, as he is dropping a Zealot, but picking him back up quickly, as he knows there may be a reassurance of backup to help fight off the Zealot that would be dropping. And in fact, he is looking to secure this expansion right here, moving his troops down with it. So keeping that Warp Prism around would not have been the greatest idea in the world. As we see the pros moving down, this natural expansion for Whitera is in fact up and running, as the one for Sjow has just been put down. We do have extended thermal lance and a Colossus in production. We're going to see some Colossus play here on Metalopolis, as that Colossus is almost complete, being chrono boosted out at that. The extended thermal lens, those will be very, very brutal. Very brutal to the Terran army until a couple Vikings come out. Are there any Vikings in production yet? I don't see any Vikings in production. I don't see any Vikings on the field. So the extended thermal lens is going to be a great tool in Whitera's arsenal. It's a goddamn tongue twister right there. As we now do see 2 Vikings being produced to fight off the imminent Colossus threat. As back here, see a couple dots, a couple Medivacs moving right to the back of the supply line of the main base, dropping down. Are they going to go right after that pylon? They will go right after the mineral line, as the Colossus will be spotted. And they have to get those troops out of there quicker. They will be roasted by the Colossus. Let's get them out of here. We do see another drop behind the expansion, simming up the Marines. Will they be able to get the Immortal down in time? They will be able to get the Immortal down and be able to do some economic damage to this expansion right there. Having to move the probes away from the line, as we do see some more Zealots being warped in. And 1 Zealot down, 2 Zealots down. Will the 3rd Zealot go down? That pylon is being attacked. Looking at the resources tab, but that pylon going down won't do much to supply block, as the Colossus does move down and tries to fry the Marines. He's got to get the Marines back in the Medivac quick, and he does, and gets them away. This expansion is now up and running, as the SUVs are moving down from the main base into the supply line. as that will even out a little bit on the economic front, as we do have some Vikings coming over here for the added support against the Colossus. Looking at the units tab right now, we do have 2 Colossi on the field right now for Whitera. A pretty big blob of blue, as we can see in the mini-map here right there, as we see this army marching across the road over to Whitera's front door. We have the Stalkers pursuing this medivac. Will he lose a medivac? No, but the Colossus are away from his main base. If he strikes now, he'll be able to do massive damage, simming up the Marines and Marauders, going right after this natural expansion, who do have a little squadron of troops from Whitera looking to attack. Moving back, oh, the sentries blow down the force field, as a couple of troops will, in fact, be roasted by the Colossus, stimming up the Marines, in fact, to just get them away, as we do see a confrontation here between the Colossi and the ground force of Sjow. Lots of ground troops will, in fact, be roasted, as we see both armies retreating, in fact, to just deal with the Hellion harass in the main base right now. Looking to do some supply damage, but again, pulling the probes off the line. Good job as that Hellion, that Hellion didn't even stand a chance at that point. Just cornered himself and got roasted by Whitera. Both armies have pretty much returned to home now, as we got a little bit of a rally point right in front of here for Whitera. Now, what we got right now, we have, looking at the unit comp, which I had open for both teams, we have 4 Vikings, 8 Marauders, and 13 Marines for Sjow, and 6 Zealots, 7 Stalkers, 3 Colossi, and 3 Sentries. Whitera right now definitely has the better army, the more suitable army for this, as you see Whitera's army moving now across the map to strike at the heart of Sjow. Busting right through the front door of the natural expansion, we are going to see a fight in front of the base of Sjow. Whitera now moving from the defensive to the offensive, as we see the Marines stimming up, doing a force field on the door to prevent any more reinforcements from Sjow, as we're pulling the SCVs off the line to stop this attack. Going on an all-out defense, Whitera, but the Vikings will be able to just pick at the Colossus, but frying all of the ground troops. Oh, and the Colossus will go down, and that only leaves Stalkers left for Whitera, and he has to let them retreat. As we look at the production tab, nothing except the 1 Colossus in production for Whitera. So in fact, the Vikings were able to pick off the Colossus so easily, and all he has left right now are Stalkers, as he has landed the Vikings to pick off the Stalkers. Will Sjow commit to the counter-attack? He will. We see some Vikings on the ground, some Vikings in the air. Lots of 1 Marauder, couple Marines moving in right now. 10 Marauders and 6 Marines to be more exact. He is moving across the high-yield expansion, looking to do sort of a flank on the front door, but more units have been warped in. Do in fact have 6 Stalkers, 5 Zealots, and a Sentry back at the front door for Whitera. So it looks like we're going to see a confrontation at Whitera's base now, as we see the Colossus coming into play, but oh, gonna get just mauled by all those Vikings in the air. We have a confrontation right now. We have the Zealots moving towards the Marauders. Oh, the Marauders are stimming, but are force field, so they cannot run away. Oh, those Zealots are slicing at those Marauders right now, picking them off as much as they can, but the concussive shells will allow the Marauders to cut away. Wow, I just stuttered quite a bit right there. Quite a loss for words, and the Vikings will just get torn up by the Zealots as they land. Vikings are very squishy when they land. The ground units of Sjow are once again stimming up, moving up the ramp, but instead moving to the expansion of Whitera as more units get warped in down below. There's just an endless supply of units being warped in by Whitera, and only a few Marauders left for Sjow. Looking at the production tab right now, we just have 2 Marauders and 3 more Marines being rallied in, but will it be enough with the constant warp in of Ra's units? As Sjow is now retreating, but in fact going back for more, going back for another strike. We see him stimming up yet again, being healed by the medivac. The Sentry force field goes right down on the ramp as he is forced to retreat again and kite the Zealots away before his troops get sliced up by them yet again. Will he retreat back to base, or will he go and continue the harassment on Whitera? He will. He is moving forward again to strike again at Duckload's armies. I just called him Whitera the whole game and then switched back to Duckload. Oh my god. Again, chased away by all the Zealots. We do have some reinforcements, though, being pumped out here for Sjow, so he will still have a fighting chance. Looking at the units lost tab, pretty much even. In fact, Whitera has lost more resources worth of units. For the most part, even. Nothing too stand out there. And we will see another confrontation at the front door of Whitera's base. Being shelled away. There goes another unit. There goes another zealot. And he is just tearing apart this Whitera army right now. But in fact, retreating back with a stim pack as more units are continually warped in, chasing them back up into Whitera's main base. He is making a move right now that is going to be critical to this game. More units are being warped in, but will Whitera be able to hold it as he is moving his probes off the line of the expansion? He will not be able to hold this expansion as it is being taken out right now. Just shelling at that Nexus. One last final stand for Whitera at his expansion. Does not look like we'll be able to hold it. Too many medivacs healing up the Marauders. I don't know if Whitera will have enough to compete with. Oh, Jesus, at a loss for words again. With this semi-constant flow of Terran infantry. And there's the GG from Whitera, and he, in fact, leaves the game. Sjow will take game 1. Let's move on into game 2.